It's January 28th and it's Monday. Well, it was a beautiful day for today itself, but somehow my days were very adventurous in the sense. So many things that happened to me today, so I'll make it a little bit brief. So I woke up by past 8 o'clock in the morning. I had my shower and then I didn't even have my breakfast. And I went to the other house and I was thinking that Steve will still be there. Usually we leave at 8:30, but of course he's already gone. He took the truck, but there was still the van. So and I saw Robert taking a shower, and I tried to call up Habs on the phone to his phone in the Philippines, but he's not replying to any of those two phones that he has. So when I went back to my room first and to get some stuff, and then when I came back to the big house, Robert was preparing himself, and I asked him, "Are we going to return the rental van?" So he said yes. So he took the van, I drove the jeep, and we went to Lantana, the Enterprise car rental there, and we were regulars there. So Brittany was there; she just arrived, and then Adam, it's like the branch manager there, was there, and he still is having his back ache. I think that's why he's still limping, and we didn't know that the guy who was there, because we found like I haven't seen him lately. I think there was the big boss, like the area manager or something, and there was like a little complaint from the other um, client. But of course, these people are always like in a hurry. They don't think. They always like it's too late. It's too late. Whatever. Anyway, so we have a good service anyway. So we turned the van and I drove the jeep, and of course Robert went with me. We went to the warehouse, and that morning I just cleaned those if glasses and those candles that we used for Saturday. And since Josh has his day of still until tomorrow, because when I called him, he's not available tomorrow. He has work for the other agency, and so he'll be available on the Wednesday. So I just cleaned those stuff, and then I had to deposit some checks. So I took the truck, going to PNC. However, when I was start driving and then I pushed the brake, it felt different. It was like when I'm pushing, it's like deeper. It doesn't stop immediately. So I was like concerned. Oh my God! I said, what is this? So after I was driving carefully. I went to the PNC bank to deposit the checks and came back, but I didn't tell Steve nor Robert about it. I thought it was just okay. Then Robert went out to get some errands and then came back with Subways, and I had a seafood. So that's for our lunch. And then that afternoon I did so much stuff like uh, I talked to Steve regarding the manpower or the staffing for Mellinger's party for the first week of February, and I tried to call the people like Ion and left a message to May if they're available, Sebastian, just to confirm about this, and then even my colleague from the Playhouse, the Drowsy Chaperone, Rick Vizdak, because he needs some work, so I asked him if he's available for February 8th and 9th, which is a Friday and Saturday, and he's available. So I still have to list some of the stuff because we need like 12 wait staff for Saturday. And then after that, Stephen Robert did communication for the cream of the crops because the class is a little bit picky, and so they have to change again the arrangements, which is already coming for the first week of February as well. So they were all rushing again. And then after that, by around past 4 o'clock, Steve was planning to leave and said, "Okay, I'll join you," but Robert has to leave too. So we all left the warehouse. After that, when we got home, I asked him if I could borrow the truck. So I did, and I was being careful in driving it because of the brakes. And I was planning to call Remo about it because he's also good with cars. But I went first to Helix Clinic for a checkup for like a urinalysis because for been 2 weeks I have this burning sensation every time I go to the bathroom in a pee, and so I had it checked, and the doctor said they hadn't found anything, but since I have the burning sensation, he gave me a prescription for antibiotics. So I drove the truck and went to Lake Worth Road. When about to cross the four-way street traffic there with all the stops, I stopped and then I know you have to give way to either, for whoever comes in first, or if you are at the same time, give way for the right to your right side. When I was crossing, I know it's my turn. A car just passed by without stopping. Oh, and I was so pissed off. I mean, I could have caused an accident there. But anyway, I automatically stopped. I really pushed that brake hard, and then I went to where did I go? I went to Compass to do an HIV testing with Royce because I have to return his Christmas village that I borrowed during Christmas for Christmas decoration in my room, and he was happy, and of course I'm negative for the result. So at least I was happy that my urinalysis was okay. Then I went to CVS after that for the prescription, but it was a little bit expensive. Good thing I have a friend there who works at the pharmacy. His name is Oswaldo, or Arsenaldo. I can't remember the name. Sorry, buddy. And he told me, he said, you know what? Go to Publix pharmacy because they're giving free oral antibiotics. So I went there, and it was confirmed that really they give for free oral antibiotics. But I have another prescription, which is not a antibiotic, but it was cheaper than the ones on CVS. So it was really a big help. So they told me I have to wait for 30 minutes. So during that time, I went out and called up Remo regarding the truck. I was planning to go to Bank of America to deposit my check, and then said, "Stan, don't go. I'll go to see you." So I waited for him. He came and checked the truck, and it says that the brake fluid was empty. So we have to buy a new brake fluid, and it might, hopefully it's not, but they said it might be leaking because once it leaks and it dries out, there may be no brake for the truck, and may cause accident. So we went back and we bought the STP brake fluid. But prior to that, I was really hungry, so I bought some chips, like potato chips and cranberry juice for me to snack first. And Robert sent me a text then telling that he made the pasta for us. But I called him up regarding this matter about the brake. So I said, yeah, no wonder I realized that the brake was really hard. So he bought an STP and then put it on the container for the brake fluid. And he told me tomorrow when we drive, to make sure that, just double check the brakes if it's really still if it's working, like it's not really too deep to push to stop it, and hopefully it will be okay, and to check also the meter for the level for the brake fluid if it's going down. So I have to do that tomorrow. And so after that, he went home. I went to the bank, and this what happened. I got Dan's check and said, oh, what's the point? So I have to go home. But prior to that, the cashier from Publix gave me this one, and I was like, this is quite different. I noticed it's a different dollar, and I realized it was Series 1957. And Dan said it's a silver certificate. So I'm gonna keep this because I love old money, and this is worth something. If you change it for the federal, they give you a silver worth something more than $1. But I said I'm okay with this. This is a souvenir already. I also got before 1985. Yeah, a series of old $20. So I'm gonna keep this for souvenir. One more thing, I'm not using my photo booth that I'm using for Mackie. I'm just using my camera right now because usually the other one has just a reflection, the opposite. So if I put this on camera, it will be like reverse. You couldn't read the thing. So I'd rather use the camera so it'd be like actual, like your eye to see what you see right now. Okay, so I'm getting this one. And then I went home and had the pasta that Robert made. It's because they went to the party yesterday with our friend Catherine and Marcia's father's birthday. He's already 94 then. Happy birthday! And Robert took home some seafood sauce too, and he made a pasta out of it, and it's freaking awesome. So I ate them and enjoyed it, and then came back there like, oh, where are those pastas? And then Robert ate all of them then. So I said, oh, he was planning to make another one, but I said, let's do it tomorrow. So I have another pasta for dinner tomorrow then. So after that, I went to my room, and it was kind of late then, but I still watched Two Broke Girls, which was one of my favorites. It was a rerun about two Amish boys. And then I watched Castle. Also a rerun about Castle and Beckett having a date at the Hamptons. And so that's what happened to me. It's kind of like somehow like it like feels like I told Remo I felt like I'm jinxed because what happened to the truck. But somehow I'm lucky because I got something, opposite. Like I have some new coins, new bills that I saw, an old bill, and I was able to have a nice checkup, and everything went out well. So I called up Peter about it, informed him, and I'm going to call Ron about it too. So that's what it's a revelation. So thank you. Have a good night. That's what happened.